Oh, hello. How are you today, grasshoppers? This, of course, is RJ Redden. You are watching The Bot Signal, as you should. Normally on Fridays, I bring to you a little segment called Friday Wins. And that's an important segment. It really is. Love to talk about all the wins that we've had over the week, whether it was very small, whether it was quite large, whatever is happening, that's what we want to bring you, because we don't spend enough time thinking about our wins as entrepreneurs. We skip over that. My friend Coach Jenny calls it jump in a puddle. But today we're going to talk about something that is really super important, and that's why, of course, I would put off the Friday wins, because my friend Charles is going to be on here talking about becoming a human lead magnet. Now, we talk about lead magnets, and most of the time, if you're an entrepreneur, what your mind flips to is whatever freebie you happen to be giving away at the time. Oh, Teresa, you're getting your hair cut today for the first time in months. That's a win right there. Let's celebrate that one. Whoa. I'm way over on the side now. I need to compensate for that with my little pictures, but congratulations on the haircut. I did that a couple of weeks ago. I feel awesome. And color, the color was just not in my hair. I didn't feel right. Anyway, wins are hugely important. And my friend Charles has been so I am going to fill in with some wins. Toss me a few of your own, because I know that you want to. For me, wins this week. Okay, this might not sound like a win at first, but it totally was, dudes. It totally was, because, my friend Charles is here. Listen, he has appeared in the bottom, and I gotta bring him up because he's fabulous and amazing. So please, everybody, welcome my dear friend Charles. There he is.
What's up, RJ? How are you?
Hey, baby. I'm good. Do you hear an echo at all?
I don't, but I can turn down.
Turn down something.
Okay. Is this any better?
Much better. I thought you maybe had Facebook open in the background. A lot of people do that unknowingly. Very good, darling. I am so glad you're here, Charles.
Well, you know what? I'm glad to be here. I'm a big fan of you.
Thank you. Well, may I introduce you to my audience? This man, Charles Byrd, has done some amazing things in my life lately. Okay. He has helped me with a lot of issues I never even think about, that have made me intensely more profitable as a human. Okay. So I've invited him on the show because he's got something super cool going on. The super cool thing he's got going on is a challenge. It's a free challenge that you can join. By the way, totally the link's in the description, and I'll drop it in the comments too. Double duty, don't you know? But I've invited him on here to talk about this challenge, what it's going to bring people, why it's going on, and I just want to thank you for coming on, Mr. Charles Byrd.
Well, thank you for having me, and let's put credit where credit is due. This challenge, which I've been working toward honestly for like 6 months, it's taken a while. It's built in a bot, and there's an amazing woman who created that in the bot, and I'm talking to her. It's RJ and her amazing team. This interview was brought to you by RJ and her amazing team.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the camera switch, because that just made my day. All right. Awesomeness. Well, let's get talking. Let's get talking about. RJ, sounds like you're talking into a can. Let me adjust some levels. But before I do that, Charles, I want to ask you. I want to ask you about the Human Lead Magnet Challenge. What drove you to think about this? What drove you to wake up one morning and go, I'm going to work for 6 months on this challenge? Tell me about it. Tell me about the idea.
Okay, I'll give a little backstory because it all leads to this culminating moment. And so here's the backstory for anyone who's not aware, which could be a lot of you. You never know. So I worked in the Silicon Valley for 15 years. I was a director at a billion-dollar software company. I wanted to make a bigger impact and have that amazing entrepreneur life I read about in books and thought were just for other people. And I thought, hey, maybe I could be one of those people. So I said, I will, end of story. And I became an entrepreneur just by deciding to. And then I created my first product. It was a low-ticket course in the productivity niche. I had no audience. I had no list. I had no connections. I was all alone in this great big world. And I figured out very quickly that building relationships is the fastest way to grow as an entrepreneur, to connect with an audience, and really started building relationships from the moment I entered the industry, starting again with zero connections in the industry. Because if you have a product or service that aligns with a certain audience and you can connect with and provide value to and become friends with someone who has a massive audience of the folks you're looking to serve, connecting with them is by far your fastest way to grow your business. So I got very good at marketing my productivity course using joint ventures and created a completely frictionless system around managing information, connecting with people online and off. And I booked 2 to 6 joint venture promotions per week. In fact, day before yesterday, I booked 5 on 2 phone calls. And some are approaching lists of 500,000 people per promotion. So people wanted to know how I do that. And I started putting on events and workshops and creating group programs and doing private consulting. But the core initial step is connecting with people and building relationships with people. And my friend Marisa Murgatroyd, she actually gave me that wonderful human lead magnet. She was distilling what I do, and she's like, well, you're a human lead magnet. So we thought, hey, why don't we make a challenge called the Human Lead Magnet Challenge and show people how easy it is to adapt some basic new skills where you're systematically starting to reach out to people that maybe they've been a client in the past, or maybe you've wanted to do a joint venture with them but just haven't really developed the relationship, or maybe you met them at an event and then never followed up. Did you know some people never follow up? In fact, I would say 99% of people do not follow up. And so this is a very simple framework to identify folks in your life that you want to re-engage with or connect with, and then just start that process. And the goal is not only to get up and going with that now and re-engage those conversations and connect and book conversations, because conversations are where opportunities come from. That's where deals come from. It's where clients come from, referrals. I did a referral for a common friend of ours yesterday. He closed this $7,500 deal because I had a conversation. I heard someone had a need. I connected the two. They're both way better off. And so that's what this is all about.
Well, and that can generate so much just with an introduction, which I love the way you do your intros. Just with an introduction, you can really make that connection. And, I've been introduced to a lot of people over the last, couple of years or so. But your introductions are they're just cool. They're just cool. They're thoughtful. So it's really, I like what you said about in the conversation, that's where the opportunity lies. What do you think about, in the digital world, we are so obsessed with reach. We're so obsessed with get in front of new people. We'll pay for ads. We'll do anything we have to do. We'll get on a show daily and talk to people.
Yeah.
But in your experience, how important is all that compared to getting a conversation with somebody that you really connect with?
Oh, the conversation is really, I don't think anything can be more powerful than the conversations. And I've also been very tempted by that. Like I did 18 events and cities and stages over 20 weeks. And all around.
Did your wife ever see you?
I'd come home or bring her. She came on the marketer's cruise. Haha.
That's right.
But there's because I've been in the same situation, like there's this drive to connect with more and more people, which I mean I still do all the time, but how is it helping you to connect with the next new people and win them over if you already won people over and didn't follow up to close a deal?
Yeah.
Like people you're already connected with. Today I need to shoot 5 follow-up videos to friends and industry folks who said they want to join my next group program. So what's a better use of my time going to connect with 5 new people who have no clue who I am, or connecting with people who know exactly who I am and what I have to offer? So that's what this challenge is all about. There's people in your life, heroes that you can connect with right now. They know who you are. They already know, like, and trust you. You have a relationship with them at some level. This is the time to reconnect and engage, reach out, look at what they're doing, find ways to provide them value. It's value first relationship building is hashtag value first.
Hashtag value first, baby. So one of the things that really is to me fascinating about you is that you've created this challenge. By the way, kids, free challenge, so cool. You got to do this thing. But what you're doing is you're teaching people how to start from here. You do not have to have a huge list. You do not have to be flying around the world like Charles does right now. Well, not right now. You don't have to have all of that. You can start from here.
Yeah, that's one thing I realized about these systems, and it is a system. It's basically what I used and created from day one with just clueless, nothing going on, didn't know much at all about marketing, was just starting to learn. And like these systems of connecting with people online, offline, listening to what they're trying to accomplish, not starting with, "Hi RJ, I know you don't know me, but will you promote me?" Like it's like those random Facebook posts or pings you get. "Hi, I'm raising money for this documentary. Would you like to invest?" And you've never heard from them before. You don't know who they are, what they're about. It's very sad because they are doomed. But starting with connecting, listening to what other people are trying to accomplish, and be the path to shortcut that goal, whether that's through your products or services or through someone you know, an event you know about, a tool you know about. There's always ways to provide people value. So this works from the very beginning to the very, very top of the industry. Everybody needs help with something. And so simply paying attention to what they're doing, what their goals are, you can think outside of the back box, there's something I call the reciprocation trap, where sometimes someone won't approach a bigger industry person because they're like, oh, my list is 3,000 and theirs is 50,000. That they're not going to want to talk to me. I can't like provide the same amount of value. That's simply a story you're telling yourself in your head that's actually not true at all. There are hundreds, thousands of ways to provide value within your skill sets today. There's certain things you're great at that to other people are wizardry, like bots. Like there's things that come so natural to you, it's like breathing, but to other people, it's shrouded in mystery, and they would love to hear about it from you.
And finding and making those connections is what you are so good at. And of course, what you're teaching everybody how to do in this challenge. Now, let me let me call back to something you were talking about a little bit before. You were talking about having such relationships with people that you can you can do some promotion and stuff with people that have a list of, a large list, basically. What's the difference between somebody saying, yes, RJ, I will email for you, and I have a large list of people to email to, and me running a Facebook ad? What's the difference there?
Well, the difference is you're going to pay for that Facebook ad whether it works or not. And frequently it won't. So you will, and this isn't like true in every situation, but most Facebook ads barely break even if they do at all. Where joint venture traffic, referrals, you're paying nothing for the leads. You're only paying based on results. It's like magic. It's like, it's money coming into your world that you never would have had otherwise, and you didn't have to pay anything up front to get it. So it's quite profound. If you're looking to grow something quickly, one of my friends in the industry is Scott Olford, and he's been known for a long time as a Facebook traffic extraordinary. He's an amazing strategist and all of that. But a Facebook post he wrote probably a couple years ago, he was like, if you want to grow something quickly, the fastest way to do it is through joint ventures. That's how he started his business. And then at the end of the article or the post, he mentioned, if you want to learn how to do it right, come talk to me. But anyway, so it's a beautiful way to get up and going. The way to leverage that best is to have a product or service that it's either launched and converting, you know who your market is and all of that, or you're imminently going to launch one. But even before you launch one, you can still start building your network and relationships and connecting people. And there's a saying that Jordan Harbinger uses, although I think he got it from a book. Dig the well before you're thirsty.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, and it's just so obvious and brilliant. It's like, I'll give you an example. There's a very, very big industry person who was doing a launch a little while ago. And a week before the launch, my messenger goes, bling, hey, Charles, we've got this big launch. Do you want to mail? And I said, no, I don't. Because I hadn't heard crickets from him in a year and a half. He'd done nothing to stay in touch. He'd done nothing to connect, nothing to provide value. You can't show up on people's doorstep asking for favors when you've been invisible to them until you needed them. It's basically, to me, that's a character trait. Are you someone who's there for their friends? Are you someone who thinks long-term? Or are you transactional and shallow? That's kind of the difference.
True. So one of the differences, and I wasn't picking on Facebook ads necessarily. I know that they could be very, very successful. What I'm picking on is that mentality of that we're all taught from the day our business was born on the couch with the laptop, because that's how mine was born anyway. From that day to this day, the shout is get a bigger list, get a bigger list, get a bigger list, get better reach, do anything you have to get in front of more eyeballs, more eyeballs. Here's the thing, here's the big difference between having a friend of yours whom you have a relationship with, and this challenge is all about developing those relationships. If you hadn't caught it yet, there it is. There's a difference between me having a friend say, this is a trustable person, you should get to know them, they're super smart, and they're the real deal. There's a difference between that and coming in cold off of a click, off of I don't know, I just saw this and thought that I would check it out. There's a huge trust factor involved in having someone else stand up for you and point to you and say, go hang out with this person, they're worth it. That's what fascinates me.
Definitely. That's a massive difference between kind of cold traffic and warm traffic. And because when someone's following you, they watch your show every day, every week, they get to know, like, and trust you, and they respect you and your opinion. So when you bring someone into your world and you're showcasing them because you believe in what they're doing and they've helped you in different ways, that means way more than seeing some dude's face in an ad as you're scrolling by and you're like, whoever the hell that is. It's you're coming in, riding the authority and trust that the partner has already established with their audience, which means they're going to be far more open to listening to your message, thereby enabling you to serve them at a higher capacity and get them results too. So it is a very beautiful thing.
Part of what you also teach, and you kind of hit on this in the beginning, is a systematic way to connect with people. Fascinating. Tell me what you mean by that.
Well, I didn't come up with this, but at my last Pure JV event in San Diego, the group named what I do, and they call it Systematize Niceness. I mentioned that to a friend the other day in San Francisco. She's like, you should call it Systematize Kindness, but whatever. It's basically systematically connecting with people. Like, that means every day reaching out and connecting with people. And then the niceness or kindness part is helping them first. It's value first relationship building. And it works so stunningly well. It's kind of insane. Using that exact approach has gotten me working. Like, I helped Joe polish for 5 months with him personally and his team. I've helped Yannick Silver with his systems. And then when he saw kind of the network I've built up, he asked me to help him curate groups to go to Necker Island to hang out with Richard Branson. I've helped Marisa Murgatroyd get partners for her launch. I've helped Eben Pagan get partners for his launch. To the point, Eben featured me as his joint venture expert in his high ticket virtual coach program and invited me into his mastermind. So I'm on calls every week with Jeff Walker, Stu McLaren, Marie Forleo, Jay Abraham, Yannick Silver, Joe Polish. Like, it's just insane. And all of that was done by basically going out of my way to find where our peers and leaders and ideal clients and partners are spending their time online and off, reaching out or getting introduced to them. Introductions, by the way, as you know, introductions leapfrog the trust building like by miles. I've connected with people cold. Like I saw an article in a big magazine or something and then started pinging the author, and 8 months later I'm doing webinars to their list of 45,000 people. But you get an intro and it's just like that. I'll have a webinar booked in 20 minutes, whether they've heard of me or not, because I'm coming in with the trust of whoever introduced me. And so it's just a very beautiful thing. Like Alex Mendozian, who lives in the Bay here, he and I are helping another friend get partners for his launch. It's just always looking out for other people on the way. And you might think, well, my day's pretty busy. How can I be watching out for other people's goals when I have so much to do? Well, the fact is, when you do, the opportunities, the referrals, like I think it was a week before last, I had 5 referrals on a Wednesday and 4 more on a Friday. Like when you hook other people up, it's like floodgates coming back.
That is something you're going to be talking about in the challenge, obviously. And there's so much information that you have to give to people. I'm so grateful that you thought about, let's break this down. Let's offer this to everybody and their mother if they wish to join. Let's get a group of people moving towards value first relationship building, moving towards that conversation, which holds the key to opportunity, and moving towards what you and I, when we were first envisioning having a business, moving towards having that lifestyle that we want to have. So anyway, I just love you, and I could talk about Charles all day, and I will, but I don't want to hold up everybody on the forever. So I will say this. Firstly, I am going to throw the link. You can join that challenge. I've got it up in the description already, and it's posting in several places right now. Join the Human Lead Magnet Challenge right there. And I'm going to tell you what. If you join that challenge, I will know because I wrote the bot that tracks it. And I'm going to offer everybody who joins this challenge, because I believe in it so much, I'm going to offer you an hour's worth of consult of my time.
What?
Yes. I will reach out and offer it to you because I feel so strongly. I talk on this show all the time about how the conversation is where it's at, about how when we're sitting thinking about reach and let's get 1 billion people watching every time we do a Facebook Live and all of that stuff, we're headed down a wrong road that burns most entrepreneurs out way before they get results. If you head down a road that you are the tour guide of, that, building those friendships, relationships, learning a little bit at a time, systematizing it so that it's natural, you're going to get what you want out of entrepreneurship. And I believe in it so much. Absolutely. 60 minutes of my time, people, for free. Join this challenge and you will get a message from me.
That's way too generous. That's crazy, actually. Wow. Well, if that's not an incentive, I can't tell you what is. In other news, another reason to join this challenge, and by the way, you're joining this challenge for yourself because it's going to help you reconnect with at least 5 people in your network and get that conversation started. We're going to give you tracking sheets so you can brainstorm some names, track your progress, start reaching out. It's actually very easy. We're going to baby step you right through it. And the second reason to join this challenge today, beyond the bonus hour that RJ just offered, which is truly crazy, it's because it's my birthday.
Birthday!
Yeah, my phone's been lighting up with very sweet messages. So that's fun. Yes, so I'm very excited about the challenge. The challenge was built in a bot by the one and only RJ. RJ, you and your team, by the way, I've got to take a moment to shout out. You and your team have been there for us the whole time. The communication's been excellent. Your dedication's been excellent. I work with a lot of people, and when you know people have your back, life just feels so much better. And so I want to, anyone thinking of working with you, definitely should take you up on that hour free consult, which is, again, far too generous. I've been impressed with how you guys work and really appreciate it. And it's great. So thank you.
It is our honor to support something that we feel so strongly about. And it's our honor to support you as a human just because you're Charles. So everybody, if you see that link, it's either in the comments or it's up in the description, or it's, I don't know, just PM me and you can get it. Seriously, a smoke signal will work at this point. I am shooting this thing out everywhere. So hit that link. Hit get started when that little messenger button comes up, and get started building that empire you've been dreaming about. I am not kidding. This is the way to do it. And you're looking at the man who will help you. So that's it for us today, my friends, my darlings. Any last words of wisdom for the people, Charles?
Yeah, well, the trick to all of this is simply getting started. And the whole point of this challenge is to make it falling off a log simple. And so it's very easy. We'll guide you through. We have this amazing community behind this, and you're going to get connections just from the group, not to mention reaching out to people you already know in a systematic, tracked way, so you can move things forward. So thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
So that's what I know. Join up, people. Do this thing. You are not going to regret it. And that's it for us today. We'll see you in a bot. Oh, shoot.